It's the Real News Network, and I'm Greg Wilpert. The Boycott, Sanctions, and Divestment movement, or BDS movement, which targets Israel's treatment of Palestinians, was able to register an important court win last month in Canada. A court in Montreal ruled in favor of BDS Quebec and the Canadian Communist Party when it said that the city of Montreal violated election campaign rules and must pay damages to the two organizations. The case began when Montreal city officials removed BDS and Communist Party posters during a federal election campaign that took place in Canada in 2015. The posters called attention to a 2014 Israeli bombing that killed 4 Palestinian children and featured a picture of one of the dead children. According to the ruling, city officials acted illegally when they removed the posters. Joining me now from Montreal, Canada, is one of the main plaintiffs in the case, Bruce Katz. Bruce is the official agent of BDS Quebec. Welcome to the Real News Network, Bruce.
Thank you.
So the court ruled that the city needs to pay $12,000 in Canadian dollars in punitive damages to your organization, BDS Quebec, in addition to the cost of the posters that they removed. How do you feel about this result, and what does it mean for the BDS movement?
Well, we're extremely pleased by the fact that we've managed to win a jurisprudence, and that was the overall objective in the first place. The jurisprudence is important because, for one thing, it is something that enhances or reinforces the integrity of the electoral law of Canada, which the city of Montreal stepped all over during the federal campaign in 2015. It is also a victory, as far as we're concerned, for freedom of expression, since the city of Montreal took down our posters arbitrarily, and actually were condemned by Elections Canada a couple of months after the incident, because I had kept Elections Canada informed on a regular basis of exactly what was going on. Also, for us, this is a victory for the legitimacy of BDS Quebec and its campaign against Israeli aggression against the Palestinians, and also as something that underscores the fact that the federal government under Justin Trudeau has recently condemned BDS as being synonymous with anti-Semitism. This is, of course, is not the case. As a matter of fact, it's I think a defamatory statement to begin with. But the victory for us in Quebec Superior Court is a victory also for the legitimacy of BDS Quebec and for the legitimacy of the Boycott, Divestment, and Sanctions campaign against Israel. And as I said, and I repeat, it is a victory for freedom of expression in this country, and it is applicable. It will be applicable since it concerns the electoral law of Canada. It is applicable in all provinces, and we're very pleased with that result.
Did you ever find out who was exactly behind the decision to remove the posters, or why they were removed?
No. The only thing that our lawyer, and I would like to take a moment to express our gratitude for his excellent his excellent work. Alain Tremblay was our lawyer. And what he was able to do in an examination, which is called a discovery, was the fact that the city had issued a blank order, in other words, a general order to take down BDS Quebec posters. These were large posters. They were hard-hitting posters, 4 by 4, 4 feet by 4 feet. And translated from French, what we had written in bold letters on the posters, with a depiction, a photograph of one of the Palestinian children who was killed on a beach in Gaza. We wrote on the reprinted on the posters, Israel assassinates Palestinian children. Harper, who was prime minister at that point in time, applauds. Now, what do the other parties have to say? Obviously, that ruffled some feathers, despite the fact that we had done all of the necessary documentation to back up what we printed on that poster. So the poster was absolutely true in its comments about Israeli killing of Palestinian children. Despite the veracity of it, the city of Montreal took the posters down. They have been shown to trampled on fundamental rights, really, rights of freedom of expression, the integrity of the electoral law in Canada, and in a way defamed us, although the court did not give the individual members of BDS Quebec or of the Communist Party for that matter did not award them punitive damages. Nevertheless, as I've said, we're elated by the victory that we've achieved for BDS Quebec and for freedom of expression.
Now, how have city officials and pro-Israeli lobby groups reacted to this court decision?
For the time being, the decision itself is fairly recent. We have not heard of any reaction to this point. I'm sure that their reaction will come, and that the pro-Israel elements and certain elements of the political class will continue to say that BDS equals anti-Semitism, although it's clear that this is merely a sophism. And as a matter of fact, there have been reactions even from people in Israel, from academics here in Canada, criticizing the manipulation of the notion of anti-Semitism, which has nothing to do with criticizing Israel.
Well, this is certainly a story that we've been following for quite some time, and I thank you very much for having joined us today, Bruce. I was speaking to Bruce Katz, official agent of BDS Quebec. Thanks again, Bruce, for having joined us.
Very welcome.
And thank you for joining the Real News Network.